Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we're truly delighted to have you here for this very important and timely conversation. My name is Adetutu, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar, organized by Gracious Pearls Initiative. Before we begin properly, I would just like to ask, how is everyone doing this afternoon? I hope you're comfortable, relaxed, and ready to learn and share. Please feel free to say hello in the chat. Nod if you can hear me, so we're sure everybody can hear us clearly as well.
Yes, we can hear you, Adetutu, and good evening.
Thank you very much. So, as we know, today's theme is menopause, andropause, and you. Conversation focused on understanding our bodies, our health, and embracing this phase of life with knowledge, grace, and confidence. So today we have an insightful session planned. I hope you're all ready. And we encourage you to listen openly, ask your questions during the Q&A, and most importantly, take away something valuable for yourself. So once again, thank you for being here. You're very welcome, and we are honored to have you with us today. So I would just move on, and I would like to invite the very smart, humble, and amazing initiative by Gracious Pearls, Barrister Funke Akoni. Thank you. You have the floor now.
Thank you, Adetutu, and thank you for the introduction. Good day, everyone. And we pray that this will be a good year for each and every one of us. Welcome to the first webinar in 2026, and it's about menopause and andropause. Most of us are still going through menopause. Most of us are pre-andropause, and menopause and andropause are individual. We have different symptoms. Today, Dr. Umi will be talking to us about menopause and andropause, and she's ready to take all your questions about the symptoms, how do you manage it, and everything. So I hand over back to Tutu to introduce Dr. Umi to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the brief introduction. So we'll just jump right into it now and introduce Dr. Wumi, who is a family physician and the voice behind Healthy You with Dr. Wumi. She's passionate about helping people manage stress, balance relationships, and live healthier, more fulfilled lives with a special focus on supporting women through premenopause, menopause, and weight management. We are so happy to have you here, Ma. So you have the floor now.
Thank you. Thank you. Good day, everyone from different parts of the world that you might be joining today. And thank you for the opportunity given to me to share with us. And this is going to be, it's about, if you look at the topic, it says menopause, andropause, and you. So this is about you. So let's focus on ourselves today. Maybe for the first time in a while, we're always helping other people sort out themselves. This few, maybe an hour or more, is going to be about you, whether you are in perimenopause, menopause, or andropause. I'll talk more about andropause later. So we're not going to go into the details about the science and all that we're going to talk more about how it applies to us as individuals. And why does this conversation matter? In midlife, there are changes that affect the body, our emotions, sleep, and confidence. Sometimes when we look at the mirror, we're like, what am I seeing? We take our younger pictures, we look at things, this is not okay, and it starts impacting on us. And because of lack of information, people tend to, it creates a lot of fear, something that people don't want to talk about. If not now that there's a little bit of talks about it, we hear people say, just toughen it out. It's part of life. Just leave it like that. But it's not. And it is not weakness. Even though our bodies may be failing, doesn't mean that we are weak or we are not doing things right. Sometimes it might just be that we don't have enough information. So in simple terms, what is menopause? Menopause is when you haven't had your period for a full year. Let's give an example. If the last period was on the 2nd of January 2025, and this is, well, today is 24th January 2026. If there's been no period from 2nd January 25 to 2nd January 2026. That's a full year with no single drop of blood. Then we say a woman has attained menopause. That's for menopause. And it is a natural biological transition. And it is not a disease. If we remember when we were younger, we went through puberty. So this is another stage for women, and it's natural, it's normal. The way we had fears at that time, oh, the anterior part of the chest getting bigger, different things happening, the pimples and all that. This stage of menopause too is associated with some symptoms. Then what is perimenopause? Peri, before menopause. This is not a day thing. It might not be a year. Some people, it lasts for years before they now don't see their period in 1 year. And this is the period of transition when the hormones fluctuate. During menopause, estrogen level is down to almost zero. But during the perimenopause period, it fluctuates. The periods they may still be regular. You may still be seeing your periods every month, but there are some symptoms that just come up, which I'm going to talk about. So peri is before menopause. Some people, it lasts for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years before they finally don't see their period. But it's a range, and it is not a 1 year thing or something like that. And um, like I said, hormones fluctuate, and these symptoms can start before menopause, the perimenopause stage. And what are those symptoms? We have hot flashes. I would describe it this way: that you feel this sudden heat, maybe lasts for a few seconds, a minute, then this sudden cold comes upon you, like, what is happening? At night, that is what makes people sweat a lot. So night sweat is the equivalent of hot flashes that happens at night. So, and that people notice that it's challenging losing weight. Mine, like I tell people, for example, I did a few things that made me know that I was in perimenopause, but I did, even as a physician, it didn't dawn on me quickly. The first thing was the things when I want to, let me, I've said I'm adding weight. The things I used to do before that would make me lose weight wasn't working. The one I can remember very well, just being happy. I said I would sort myself out. Then I had a friend of mine was celebrating her 50th birthday, so I made my dress from Nigeria. And by 5 months or 6 months before the event, and when I tried to wear it, I couldn't zip it. I tucked in my tummy. I told my daughter to help me zip it up. I said, if I wear this, if I carry this dress, like, if I wear it like this for this event, I won't be able to eat. So I said, let me do what I do and lose some kilograms. Hey, 1 month, this the scale didn't drop by 0.1 decimal. So that's when I knew that, it's like this one, I've entered one chance. So I now started reflecting. And why? Because our bodies can't metabolize the way it used to once the estrogen level starts declining. So I had to re-strategize, which are some of the things we're going to talk about today. So that was one thing for me that made me know that this thing is coming. The other one, we're in the kitchen. I think I was cooking, preparing food or something. My son came and said, "Mommy, what are we having for dinner or something or lunch?" I can't remember. I snapped. He now moved closer to me and said, "Mommy, sorry, are you on your period?" I said, "Why are you asking me that?" He said, that he heard that and he was around maybe 16, 17 then. He said, when he heard that is when women are on their periods that they are irritable. I didn't want to admit it, but that was something, it was a realization. It dawned on me, and I started looking at it, a few days before my period, I noticed that I was more irritable, which I wasn't like that before. So, these are some of the things that might make us know that perimenopause is coming, perimenopause, and it can even happen to during menopause. The weight, the hot flashes, night sweat, brain fog is different from memory loss. This is, you might be gisting and you want to remember something or somebody's name, and it takes you longer than it used to take you. The brain is just not as fast as it used to be. It can happen in perimenopause, it can happen during menopause. That's another one. Your concentration, tiredness, body aches, sleep issues, mood changes, dryness down there. During intimacy, some people complain of, we know libido reduces, but even sometimes that libido might reduce just because of the fear of intimacy, because of the pain, because everywhere is dry there. So if the thought of it, one excuse or the other, the good news is that you don't have to suffer in silence. There are ways around these things. you know, the wrinkling, everything just happens. Say, is this me? So these are some of the changes that happen during perimenopause and menopause. Then another, let's touch on andropause. What is andropause? Actually, it is not a medical term. There's people expect that women are having menopause. What women should have andropause too. It is not a medical term, and there's no medical diagnosis called andropause as at today. But men also experience midlife changes. There's a name hasn't been coined for it, but they do also experience midlife changes. Theirs is more gradual. It's not suddenly, it's not over time that their testosterone doesn't disappear like ours, that our estrogen just shuts down. So theirs is gradual, and some of the symptoms men have, they experience lower energy or stamina. And that is why you see a lot of men in midlife. It's, with social media and all, going on testosterone, I want my energy back and do. No, if there is no specific biochemical parameter that there's no testosterone, there's no need for men to boost their energy in midlife with testosterone. The risk outweighs the benefits. They also experience mood changes and uh, motiv low motivation. Their motivation declines. So you see some men, you just see them, they're sitting down. Daddy, what is wrong? Excuse me. Daddy, what is wrong? Are you okay? They're not as playful as they used to be. They don't hang out with their friends again and things like that. So we, as their um support their spouses, we can reach out to them and support them. Over here, I see women bringing their husbands to the clinic. My patient said, there's something wrong with him. It's not like this. And sometimes too, the men will say, my wife, we jokingly say, the wife said I should come, that my mood is not okay. And we have been able to help and support these men to get themselves back, because once the mood starts getting low, the depression and things come in, the overall health, even the physical health declines. The risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, and all these things. So it is very important. There's also reduced muscle mass in men too, as they get to midlife, and changes in sexual function. That's why you see people using a lot of things, aphrodisiacs and all that. And it is also something you need to talk to your doctor about. There are safe ways of helping sexual function in midlife. So it's not that, oh, you need to do it by yourself. And that's why you hear some people that they just, while being intimate, they suddenly die, because they take all sorts of things that are not healthy for the body, that destroys the heart, that destroys the brain, and cause trouble. And generally, like I said, the symptoms are signals, they reflect hormonal shift, stress-related shift, and the goal is to support. We need to support ourselves, and also it is not about suppression. Just don't worry, you'll be okay. Just manage it. No, because even studies have shown for perimenopause, menopause, people that have significant symptoms, If they are not treated, it increases the risk of heart attack. Those that have moderate to severe symptoms, if they are not treated, it leads to lots of things. So how do we manage these symptoms? For hot flushes and night sweat, there are simple things we can do. When we're going out, or when we're feeling, if the weather is cold, we can dress in layers. Even at night, we're feeling cold at night, dress in layers so that you can easily remove the clothing and let the environment around you be cool. Like here now, we are in winter, so we're trying to increase the temperature around us. But I noticed that if the temperature is, for me, I noticed that if the temperature is above a certain level, my hot flushes are more. So try to create a cool environment for yourself all the time. Even if, because of PHCN bill, if it's challenging to leave the generator on or put on the AC, you can get this chargeable fans that you can use from time to time to just create that cool environment around yourself. Avoid late alcohol and heavy meals. People ask, what is the recommended amount of alcohol intake? There's no recommended amount of alcohol intake now, but you have a low risk of alcohol-related issues if you take 2 drinks, 2 drinks per week. 2 drinks per week, low risk, but better no alcohol. Oh, sorry, there's some noise in the background. Please, can we tell the person to mute, or is it possible to mute them? Thank you. Okay. Okay.
Go up and get that one.
So heavy meals too. Preferably have your last meal of the day by 7 to 8, if possible, no matter how busy you are. But if you're going to eat late, something very light, and it shouldn't be every day. And also, this one we're going to spend some time on it. Stress reduction and breathing techniques. So we know that stress is part of day-to-day living, but we must have ways to cope with stress. There are some things that are part of us. Maybe we have a sick child, a child with intellectual disability. We have a spouse that has health challenges, our parents, and we're the primary caregiver. These are things that it's part of us. So it's not that it's something we can avoid. So when we have those challenging situations that are part of us, work, making ends meet, how do we manage stress? There's a question I always ask people about the most important people to them in their life. Mention number 1, 2, 3. If you say, oh, who are the most important people in my life? Think about it now. Are you one of them? When I was first asked this question, I didn't even think about myself. But you should be one of the 3 most important people in your life, even if you're not number 1. Try and make yourself number 2 and 3. When you consider yourself as important, you find out that you create time out of no time to take care of yourself. And this is not about selfishness. Some people take self-care now as about being selfish. No, the Bible tells us, or the Holy Books tells us, that we should love people around us, love our neighbors as ourselves, but not more than ourselves. So we still need to take care of ourselves. And how can we do this? Every day, at least get like 30 minutes doing nothing. In the sense that not the time you say you want to go to the market, that's your free time, that you just have to yourself. If not, if you can't start with 30 minutes, start with 10 minutes. Just sit down, relax, not doing anything. Just relax your body. You can do some breathing exercises, which we'll talk about, just by yourself, and gradually increase the timing every day. Because if your body is always on the go, 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 cortisol, one of the stress hormones, gets high. The mood hormones that helps our moods better, the serotonin, dopamine, they reduce. And when we allow stress, when this cortisol levels keeps rising, that is when our mood becomes so low. That is when those of us that have the risk of having high blood pressure, diabetes that have not yet manifested, they manifest around this time. So we need to create that me time. It is very, very important. That's one way of reducing stress, managing stress. The other one is that you need to set healthy boundaries and know that the word no, capital letter N and O, is a complete sentence. So once you realize that no is a complete sentence, when you have to say it, you say it even when you feel bad saying it, and it is good to feel bad. It's a normal reaction, especially when we are nice. That's another topic for another day, nice and kind. There is nowhere that is written that one should be nice, but we need to be kind. When we are nice, that's when we are men pleasers, and if it adds up to our stress, you want to satisfy everybody. Healthy boundaries in spousal relationship, healthy boundaries with friends, healthy boundaries with siblings, healthy boundaries with spouses. We can't, because of our time, but these are some of the things. I think if we have our jotters or something to jot down now, let's put down some points to work on. Do I have healthy boundaries with my spouse? Do I have healthy boundaries with my children? Do I have healthy boundaries at work? So start working on these things. It helps one manage stress better. Because when you don't take a lot of things in, then you are able to cope better with stress. Like for me, I don't know, maybe it's just my personality. I can't sit down in one place. Do until I started having some health challenges. Even this year, I've been saying, oh, let me do this course, let me do this. So I said, Wumi, maintain yourself. Which course do you want to do again? Why can't you rest and focus on some other things? So we need to talk to ourselves if you know our personalities, but if you see things that are stressing us or taking on things over and over again, we need to work on that. So the next one is sleep. Sleep is a prescription. It is not an option. It is a must. There's no way we can survive well in life, especially in midlife, if we want to live long, if we don't sleep well. Some of us will say, oh, how can I do that? I'm running this program, I'm this business, I come back late from work, I do this. Yes, it's challenging, but at least 2, 3 times, if not every week, try and have that 7 to 8 hours sleep. Having 3, 4 hours sleep every day is not healthy.
It's true.
Have consistent sleep and wake up times. It has to be consistent so that your body can adjust well and reduce screens before bed. This blue light we look at on the screen, it sends those signals and excites our brain. It doesn't make it relax, and stress is building up again. So at least 1 hour before sleep, turn off every screen. We know Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, they entertain us. We do, just keeps, and it can be addictive. I think the first week this year, what did I do? I uninstalled TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I uninstalled it from my phone. I just left it to my iPad because I know that I don't use my iPad frequently. And I've been able to do a lot of things when I do, because even my little one will say, Mommy, leave your phone, leave your phone. You don't know when you get addicted to it. And it wastes a lot of time. Yes, we benefit from it, but it should have a limit. So it's because it also affects our sleep, waking or being on the screen all day and not having enough time to sleep. And another beautiful thing is morning light exposure. That morning light exposure helps the mood, and if you notice that if you don't sleep well, you wake up irritable. You wake up not being able to, tired, not being able to do what you're supposed to do during the day. And in the process, you want energy. You find out that you take sugary things because of that energy that you want. And weight gain is a recipe for weight gain. So let's talk about the brain fog and focus. Eating regularly and staying dehydrated. Morning, afternoon, night. All this yo-yo diet they are harmful. So they are very, very harmful. And so we should avoid them. Anything that will say lose 30 kilograms in 3 days, in 5 days, they are not sustainable and they have harmful effects on our body. I'm just giving an overview because we're talking generally about menopause, perimenopause, andropause. Otherwise, I'll go into details on how eating affects us as a whole. Taking a lot of water. So it might be challenging in midlife because you don't want to drink too much and not sleep at night because you are waking up too much. But 1.5 to 2 liters a day, depending on how much you can take in, is okay. And then try not to drink towards bedtime because that might keep you awake at night and affect your sleep. And then write things down, either on your phone or have a journal so that you don't forget and you don't get stressed trying to remember things. On your calendar, on the phone calendar, set up your events, reminders, and all that, and reduce multitasking. When we were younger, and we're always proud of it that I can do 10 things at a time. Reduce it because it will stress you more because the brain can't take as much as we grow older. So for mood and anxiety, regular movement is very important. I didn't say exercise, movement. Whatever will work for you is what you should focus on. Some people like going for walks. Personally, I don't like going for walks. But I do it, but it's not something that. So when you're going to be active, think of something that will excite you. I don't know how to dance, so I dance more in my head than the dancing, but I dance. I can dance for 10, 15 minutes. I'll put on YouTube's exercise dance or spiritual songs dance, and I'm happy doing it and I look forward to it. So I do that. I do treadmill. Sometimes I lift weights. So whatever works for you, but try and make sure that you do it 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. And at least as something for accountability, maybe count up to 10,000 steps a day. That helps the mood a lot. I always personally, I see the difference the day I do my workouts, that throughout that day, my mood is better. I know it and I feel it. So it's something. And I mentioned another thing earlier on that will also help our mood when I was talking about stress. Boundary setting. It is very, very important. I don't know, maybe because I had a lot of problems setting boundaries before, just now that I'm learning and developing the skills of setting. It's not something that you just start one day and be setting the boundary, but you have to learn it, read around it, listen to podcasts around it. You might need to see a therapist if you're finding it difficult, but healthy boundaries makes a lot of difference. That also helps to manage mood and anxiety and self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Don't always judge yourself. Even if you make mistakes, if you failed, it is part of life. Failure is part of the process in life. But we should not stay low. We should keep moving forward and trusting that things will get better. So let's be kind to ourselves. That also helps to our mood and also reduces anxiety. And for weight in midlife, there are some things we need to change. Our foods usually are made of carbohydrates. And it's not that we should not eat carbohydrates, but we have to prioritize protein now in midlife to be able to maintain a healthy weight. And then strength training should be part of, because we lose lean mass, should be part of what we inculcate to help our weight. Because when we lose weight and we lose lean mass, that's when you see some people, they don't really look okay. Their cheekbone become more prominent, their muscles are not as strong. So we need to inculcate that. And then, like I said before, avoid extreme dieting. It's not sustainable and it causes more harm to the body than good. For men, to improve their energy and motivation, resistance training is very, very important. Sleep also, like I've talked a bit about sleep. Reducing alcohol intake too is very, very crucial. And when we're going to leave a habit that does not serve us, to pick a healthier habit, I always say do it gradually. don't go cold turkey. For somebody that's been taking 2, 3 drinks of alcohol a day, cannot wake up tomorrow and say, I'm not drinking again. They are going to have withdrawal symptoms that might not make them to achieve the goal of reducing or quitting alcohol. So somebody that's been taking 3 drinks a day can take 2.5. Same thing with pop. Anything, any habit we want to leave to adopt a better habit, don't go cold turkey. I had an experience with sugar because my cousin was she was born in in August. She told me that she was diabetic. This was about 10 years ago. I said, wow. And me, if I'm taking my gari, if the granules, if I cannot feel the granules of the sugar, I have not arrived. I must saturate with sugar. So, and she told me that her mom too had diabetes. My mom didn't live long enough to know for us to know that. But it just occurred to me that my mother's father's side, they have a lot of people with diabetes. I said, oosh, even if I'm going to have you, because some things you cannot avoid in life, at least let me try what I can do. So I stopped. The next day, I didn't take sugar. I felt sick. I wouldn't lie. So I had to start taking it again, but I gradually started with then. It was in Nigeria then I think maybe from 6 cubes of sugar, I started into 5 cubes of sugar, and gradually like that. I take almost everything now without sugar. But we have to, any habit, anything we want to do gradually. If you want to start physical activity, if you have never done anything in 10 years, that is not when you say you want to be on the treadmill or go for a walk for 30 minutes or 1 hour. You can start with 5 minutes. Get used to that. 10 minutes. That is why some people, the first day they go for a walk or they run or they're on the treadmill, the whole body is sore that they can't even move the next day. So they give up. So do it gradually. Even if you're doing it gradually and you're sore, apply it, bam, or take Tylenol, paracetamol or ibuprofen to help the aches, and then but don't stop. Just gradually start building up, start building up, start building up. That will help. And then for men, it's very crucial, because um, our society talks about men being men. Don't cry. You are a man. Even if your man is crying, you are crying. You are a man. Why should you cry? That doesn't make them to be able to be open to communication. You find out that women are. You have that friend that even if I have a few, two of them that they just listen when I want to do my rant. That is okay for me. Just and same thing with them. We just listen to ourselves. But you need an outlet. So men need to learn how to communicate openly because bottling everything in is destructive. It doesn't help. So that communication is very important. And for us that have children too that are younger, we should start boys, start helping them, supporting them to have open communication. I remember a time my son, when he was in the first year in the university, and he came home sobbing. I think maybe he got 60 something percent because when he was in high school, 90, 100. So it was a shock to him. He was sobbing. I said, let it out. Me too, when I was in university, what it was one zoology course, that was an eye opener for me when I was in 100 level. I got 50%. I even had to ask the woman, what did you? She said I had 1 unit. I think they used to, 1 unit, 7 unit, 7 points. I can't remember the grading again. She said one. I said, what is one? She said, you have 50%. It was a shock to me. So I allowed him then to say, let it out. It's okay. You need to, it's not like high school where they will, secondary school where they will spoon feed you. So this is this. So we should encourage and be intentional about our children, male children, because it's not something innate or the culture doesn't allow them to open. So that open communication will really help men to open up to their spouses, open up to good friends about what they are going through. That support is very, very important. And they also need stress outlets. And for wives, if soccer is football is the stress outlet for them, let them be. And you have to learn in a way, or just sit down beside, who is that? Who is this? Who is that? Support them. And also, you can't be working soccer all the time. It's still better than going out to drink or do some other things. So whatever it is that we can use to support them, or whatever a man uses as a stress outlet that is healthy, then that also helps men's emotional health. And then for everybody, we need regular health checkup. It is very, very important because at least once a year, even if people say, I'm feeling well, there's nothing wrong with me. And that is the time we need to check ourselves. Because when something is wrong, there's usually, there's a permanent damage most of the time. So that check-in, physical checkup, for me, whenever I'm doing checkup for my patient, I always ask about their emotional health, from how is work, how is family, how are you feeling, how is everything going on with you. And people do open up. So from there, your doctor can support you. So it's also important for both of us. Then another one is about sexual health. It's very challenging in midlife, especially it's for both, for men, the men might not want to say it out. So once you change your lifestyle, eating healthy, physical activity, emotional health is stable, and the thing is not still doing the thing, then please reach out to your doctor. If your doctor will say, just okay, there's nothing you can do, please look for another doctor. There are safe medications that help men with their libido, with erection. Libido, not really, but erection, it helps. Libido most times has to do with the mind. If there's a strain in the relationship, there'll be the libido will be reduced. If work is not going well, libido may be reduced. For most men, libido is more of psychosocial factors, but the erection thing, some people are able to achieve it, but they're not able to maintain it. And that is why within a short time, maybe 2, 3 minutes, the man releases, the woman has not achieved orgasm, another wahala. So that puts stress and strain in relationships. And these are things that can be worked out with support, with the right support. It's not trying to find out on social media, I can do these things. If your doctor is not open to it, look for a doctor that can talk to you about it. And because it's a key part in relationships and our overall health. For women, like I said before, the dryness down there, daily moisturizers, water-based moisturizers can help to reduce the dryness. For intimacy, when lubricants during the time of intimacy. If this doesn't help, it is safe medically as at today to use local estrogens down there. We call them vaginal estrogens. It is safe. It helps to moisturize, reduce pain during intimacy and all that. And they are safe. They don't go through the system. But you hear a lot of things on social media about them not being safe, but that's not true according to medical evidence. So there are ways out of this, and we need to harness that. Like I said, stress management, sleep helps with sexual health. And also, there are sexual experts, marriage counselors, sexual experts therapists that can also help along this line. And open communication with the partner is also very important. For some women, till their kingdom come, penile penetration might not help them to achieve orgasm. So they don't even have interest in intimacy. So it's for the man, for them to explore their bodies together to know what helps each other. It is very, very important. And then it's also important to focus on the whole body, not just focusing down there as the only way to be intimate or to enjoy sexual relationship. And for couples going through midlife together. Most times, the couples are usually around the midlife together. But even if one is already elderly and the one is in midlife, but there are ways to support each other during this process. Learn together. Avoid blame. A friend was joking. A friend's husband was telling her, in the room now, she has a fan near her bed so that if I'm feeling hot, just plant it because the woman said, turn off the AC, turn off the AC, turn off the AC. I'm feeling hot. I'm feeling cold. After another minute, turn it on. Then snoring. Different things happen. That open communication and supporting one another will help the relationship. And one should not look down on another person's symptoms and say, Kilode and share what is wrong with you. No, please it's good to work together because these symptoms are real, and they affect both men and women. So we'll talk a bit now about stress regulation. Breathing and walking helps to regulate stress. Prayer, whatever you believe in, prayer is very, very vital. Reflection, gratitude is also very important because when we focus more on the things that we have and focus less on things that we don't have, life is better. Because if we might not have gotten to where we want to, but look at 10 years ago, those things that you wanted at that time. I'm sure some of them you already have them now, and you will have more. And the ones that are not yet, maybe it's not yet time. But when we reflect every day, which before when I come back from work and the children ask me, Mommy, how was your day? Very tired, very busy, very this. The next day too tired. I said, is it only you? So I just said, why don't you focus on the good things that has happened at work? So when they come back, that also was good. It was a bit stressful today, but I thank God. I thank God for the strength to do the work. And I found out that each day my energy is getting better. So when we stay more positive, then we're able to regulate stress better. Stress generally declines in an environment that is positive. And protect rest time. That me time, it is non-negotiable. There are some things that are my me time, I can't book an appointment at that time. I don't pick calls. I'll pick it after, but I have to have that me time. So those are things that might help with our stress regulation. So we'll talk a bit about breathing techniques because it's a very simple tool. It calms hot flushes and anxiety. It helps to improve our sleep quality. It supports focus and emotional balance, and it's free and it's always available. There are simple things we can do. The first one is that I'll talk about is psychological sigh. You inhale through your nose. That means you breathe in through your nose. We can do it now. And you take a second inhale, then slowly exhale, then breathe out through the mouth. You can repeat it 2-3 times, and that also helps to relax the body. The other one is 4 to 6 calming breath. You inhale through your nose, you take in air through your nose for 4 seconds. I don't use a watch. I focus on my heartbeat. If you focus on your heartbeat, you feel, so once you go 4 times, then you breathe out, exhale for 6 seconds, then continue for 1 to 2 minutes, especially when you find this difficult to sleep. It's just do it while you're about to sleep or when you are irritable, especially if you notice that you are more irritable now, you're just irritable. Instead of responding, do that. That will help. So now we're going to practice it. We're going to do one for a minute. And so sit comfortably wherever you are. If you're on your bed, please look for a chair to sit. Sit comfortably wherever you are. And then soften your gaze. Just relax. You can close your eyes. That might help you to soften your gaze. Then let me put the timer on. I will wait for people that are not yet seated. Please sit down. Let me put the stopwatch on for 1 minute. Then I'll go through it, then I'll tell us to start. Then inhale for 4 seconds. If you cannot feel your heart beating, let me know, but focus on it. Just count your heartbeat 4 times. That will represent 4 seconds. Then exhale for 6 seconds. The process of exhaling, breathing out through your mouth for 6 seconds. Then you let your shoulder relax. You put your shoulder down. So the time starts now. Observe how you're feeling. Don't start yet. Observe how you're feeling now. And after the 1 minute, if there's any feedback on how you feel, you let me know. Time starts now. Inhale 4 seconds. Exhale 6 seconds. Let your shoulder relax. Inhale 4 seconds. Exhale 4 seconds, and then let your shoulder relax. And repeat it as many times as possible. Inhale 4 seconds, exhale 4 seconds, and let your shoulder relax. Okay. So that's it. Let's come back. Any feedback, please put it on the chat box. What do you feel? What's your experience like? So simple like that, 1 minute, 2 minutes. That helps. When you're having a hot flush, when you're irritable, when you can't sleep, repeat it a couple of times and see. So we've talked generally about the things that we can do for ourselves, you know. So when we do all these things and things are still not working, what is the next step? We need to seek support. And what are the symptoms or things that might make us want to seek support? Persistent sleep or mood issues. You've done the breathing exercises, relaxation, communication. You've tried communicating with your partner or setting healthy boundaries. The mood is not getting better, you know, and you still can't sleep. Then you need to seek help for help. And then when these symptoms, hot flushes, night sweat, brain fog, mood changes, low libido, and all these things, when they are disrupting your daily life that you cannot function, you don't want to go to work, you don't want to cook at home, you don't want to support your children, you just want just to be by yourself, then this is a red flag. And feeling unlike yourself for months, I'm not just myself. I remember it was when I got to perimenopause. I remember when I was younger, I would say maybe as a teenager and maybe early years in the university, the few of my mother's friends that they admitted them to the hospital. It's just now that I'm remembering that they said, and they did everything, and they said there was no problem. They did all this. I said, oh, could it be that they were going through perimenopause and menopause that time and nobody knew what was happening? So we need to seek for help when these symptoms are significantly impacting on us. And so today, what is the key message? Your body is changing. Your life is not ending. We should know that. And midlife is a calibration. We just need to reset things and focus on things that are necessary and avoid things that are not necessary. Choosing our battles. So it's a natural process. It doesn't mean that it's a death sentence, but we can go through it with grace. And the good news is that over time, almost all those symptoms resolve. The only one that doesn't resolve is the one of the dryness down there for women. So we might need to continue to treat it for life. But all other symptoms over time, they go. But how we take care of ourselves would determine sometimes how long they stay for or the complications of not managing them. Thank you. I think I've come to the end of my. Okay. So for those, yes, truly, there are people that don't have partners that are separated, and it's okay. But we still need to take care of ourselves. Even down there, you might need to use the moisturizers every time, or if it's too dry and you're having recurrent bladder infections, then you need to see your doctor for the vaginal estrogen. So everybody is important. People that are widowed, people that are separated, you need those outlets, or widowers. You need those outlets, close friends, people that can support you in this journey. Please don't do it alone. We need to support each other. Find groups of people. It's good now that there are a lot of groups and awareness around these symptoms. You can join those groups and for support. Have one or two close friends that you can share things with. Yes, everybody is very, very important in this journey. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Wumi. Thank you so, so much. So now time for Q&A. Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free to unmute and ask your questions, or if you're not able to, speak where you are, you can type your questions in the chat box. Thank you.
And I don't know if there's any way that people can ask anonymously if they don't want to, maybe to our mommy directly or something, so that she can read it out if they don't want to be identified, so that we can give those people the opportunity to.
Any questions? Anybody? Please feel free to ask your questions. If you have any other thing to say, you have any additions, I think there's a question in the chat box. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so one question says, how do you advise family members of those going through menopause to best support them?
Okay, thank you for that question. So the first thing is for the person going through menopause to, excuse me, educate them. Maybe watch YouTube videos, join, like we're doing now, join webinars that talk about, so that they will also have an idea of what this person is going through. And just being there, listening, being supportive, and not saying that, oh, what is even wrong with you? Just being that listening ear. And then when they say that, like for family members, it could be siblings, it could be children, it could be spouse, whoever it is, just giving them that listening here. And when they say, I'm tired, not when the woman says, I'm tired, I say, what are we having for dinner? That also, can't you see, that's even not encouraging them or supporting them, and providing that environment, like the temperature changes and things like that, and just giving them that mental support. They can't um, take the symptoms from them, but the symptoms can worsen if there's stress around. So just helping them cope and managing stress at home will help those symptoms and help those women navigating menopause to be able to cope better.
Thank you so much. I hope that answers your question, Rennie.
Please, I have a question too.
Okay.
Please, Dr. Umi, can you please expatiate on this men's thing? I think some men are saying that you didn't really talk about them too much.
I'm so sorry.
Can you please go over it again for them?
Okay. So the aspect, so for men, there's no really medically, as of today, there's no term for andropause, but men too go through changes in midlife. Yes, their testosterone declines. For us women, I don't know if you can see my finger. For us women, our estrogen goes like this, just sharp drop. For men, their testosterone declines gradually, gradually. It doesn't go down. And because of that, they too they experience symptoms like weakness, tiredness, loss of muscle mass, the libido reduces, erection reduces, and they're not able to function as they want to. And that's why you see some men going on testosterone and some other things. So it does happen to them too. They have changes in their body. And when these things happen, let's say, for example, the muscle mass that is reducing, they have to do weight training exercises to help their muscles. It's very, very important. Being physically active, stay, because you find out that a lot of men in midlife, they are at the peak of their career. So yes, so I've talked about it. I will repeat. Somebody's asking what are the common changes in men. I mentioned them earlier on. I will read them out again. I wrote it somewhere now. Somebody's asking that what are the common changes in men. Okay, I'm coming. Low energy and stamina, mood and motivation changes. You find out that they won't say anything, but they are always at home. They will not go out. They won't do things. Even sometimes they lose their job. They don't want to take another job. So reduce muscle mass. The mass of the muscle reduces. So the whole body feels weak and tired, and changes in sexual function. Those are the key areas that midlife changes that occur in men. So those are the four main ones for men. So if we talk about the low energy and stamina, eating right is very, very important. Regular physical activity and eating right. And some people say, when I didn't have money, I was eating like a pauper. Now that I have money, they say I should not eat it and all like that. So wealth doesn't translate to eating unhealthy. You can't be eating a body shaki, intestines, abdominal organs, and pack them. It's not healthy because they will increase the cholesterol level. And what does cholesterol do? It blocks the vessels that it blocks the vessels that supply blood to the genital area. That might affect libido too, might affect erection. It increases the risk of diabetes, high blood pressure, eating anyhow. So those factors to contribute to low libido, reduced erection.
Recording in progress.
And they have to take medications for that. The medications too have their own side effects. So there's no best treatment in, yes, yes, true. Somebody said money. Yes, I talked about money, finances, that when I said psychosocial factors that affect sex drive. So that's low energy and stamina, eating well, physical activity. If you find out that a lot of men now have the big belly, it is from not being active. It is from the amount of the alcohol intake. It is from the kind of food we eat. So that mindset that now that I have money, I cannot not eat anyhow, like I cannot eat what I want to eat. So it's not about what we want to eat, but what is good for us. So we have to retrain, we have to change our mindsets when it comes to food so that we can be healthy. And then the bigger a man is, the less likely that organ will be able to function. That alone, obesity, being on the big side, affects sex drive. That alone, without any other thing. So weight management is very, very crucial for men too. Mood and motivation changes step also goes down in men. So like the things I've mentioned before, working on stress, working on sleep, having an outlet, open communication, seeking help, therapist, your doctor. It is very, very important. That helps with the mood. The reduced muscle mass, just strength training, regular activity will help the muscle mass. Changes in sexual function, we've talked about it. Reduce weight, eat healthy, reduce alcohol, stop smoking. Smoking destroys the vessels too down there. So stop smoking and also talk to your wife or your partner about it. This is what is happening. Don't use ogboju, don't use strong. Talk to it, have that open communication and support one another. But if those measures are not working, talk to your doctor. They are safe medication. We have the Cialis, we have the Viagra. They are safe as long as you don't have any medical contraindication and it is not a taboo or wrong thing to use it. It might be what will save yourself, your self-esteem, ego, and then the relationship too, because intimacy, sex is a crucial part of any relationship. So it needs to be addressed, and nobody is too young or not too old to be intimate. Age is not a barrier. So they are treatable. There are some medications that should not be prescribed for men. that can affect their erectile function. So these are some of conversations you need to have with your doctor, especially if you notice a decline in your sexual function after starting some medications. But hypertension, diabetes itself alone, kidney problems, excess weight can also affect libido in men. So I hope that answers some of the questions. If there are any other questions from the men, they say I didn't do justice. I'm so sorry. Please ask your questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Omi. So Dr. Ike, I don't know if you have anything to say as well, because I can see Dr. Ike has been the one advocating for the men in the chat box. So please, sir, if you do have any thing to say, please you can unmute and we'll listen to you briefly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, being a doctor and being in that age bracket, I quite understand the issues at hand. And one advice I will give to my colleagues is like joining groups or relating with old friends. Don't isolate yourselves when you are having crisis. For men, it helps a lot when you have groups of friends that you can talk with, go out and hang out. Those things can help a lot to bring life to life. So, and like I said earlier on in my write-ups, financial power is one vital factor for most men. And then by extension, to our fellow partners too. Like I have a friend who keep telling me that if my bank account is okay, I don't need any lubricants to get me wet. So, and then that's my own addition to the discussion. Thank you very much, Dr. Wumi. You done very well. Being a woman, so treating male issues. So that's an excellent talk you give to us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Welcome. So,
Okay.
just thank you, Dr. Ike. I just want to say something about that financial, uh, like somebody said, I think it was one, I think you mentioned something about that what women need is financial orgasm. One, yes, so yeah, but it also, it's okay, but if one is waiting to be financially okay before one can have that intimacy with one's partner, then what if it doesn't happen? Is there another thing we can do? What I usually tell people is that everything has to do with our mindset sometimes. If the focus is on, oh, I have to get this money, I have to make this contract, I have to do this, it's okay. But if it start impacting on our on other aspects of life, then it might be something we need to review and say, okay, even if the money is not here yet, it's okay, but I need this, my spouse needs this. So I think working around the mindset that it doesn't have to be, oh, the money alone that will make me, you know, to be okay to be intimate with my partner.
Okay, thank you so much again, Dr. Omi. So there was this last question that we missed, and I think it's pretty important. So the person had asked, please, how long does these symptoms last on the average? They're killing, especially hot flashes and mood swings.
Yes. So it depends. For most people, it's on the average for 3 to 5 years. Some people don't even experience it. But for somebody to say that these symptoms are killing, please, you need help. You need to talk to your doctor. And if your doctor says they don't know much about perimenopause or menopause, ask them or ask around about doctors that have experts in this. So you don't, because if they are killing, if you are affecting your ability to cope and function, then you need treatment. You might need to go on menopausal hormonal treatment, and they are safe. A lot of my patients, because that's one of my areas of expertise, I remember one that for almost 3 years, no, sorry, no, not that one. There was one for almost a year. We're going back and forth. Oh, my mood is this. My that is this. My this is this. We started antidepressants. They were not helping. And I tried to tell her a couple of times, let's try hormone replacement therapy. She wasn't, and then you can only make suggestions. So after a while, I said, okay, can you just try it for 3 months? And then if it's not helping, we won't use it. You won't, we'll stop it. And she said, okay. The next time she came to my office, she was crying. She said she has never felt better like this in her life for a long time. And I notice a lot of my patients too that are having significant hot flashes and night sweats. When we start the menopausal hormone therapy, they come back saying the same thing. Why don't people talk about this? Doctor, I feel so much better. That was one of them. She's an executive, big shot. In meetings, she'll start sweating. She'll have to excuse herself for meetings. It was just, she was almost planning to resign or retire. And there are a lot of women too in midlife that retire or resign because of these symptoms, because they can't just cope. And life kind of comes to an halt. It's not supposed to be like that. They always say this is a game changer, but why don't people talk about it? And people don't talk about it because of shame. Say, you don't want to be strong. You don't have to bear it if it is unbearable. There are ways out of it. And I didn't talk much about I've talked about lifestyle changes, non-hormonal stuffs that can be used. There are some medications, there are some supplements, but they don't work for moderate to severe symptoms. No matter what, they don't. Even a colleague of mine, a doctor, my classmate in medical school, a doctor, she was having those symptoms. You expect that she also had we all have our bias about things. But when she started it, blood pressure gone, sleep better, So please, if those symptoms are killing, don't wait until or be open, because some people have it until they're 60. Some people 3 to 5 years, some people 1 year, and it's gone. So please don't wait. Don't let us keep waiting until it stops while it is causing damage to our bodies. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, I hope that answers everyone's question. Thank you so, so much, Dr. Omi. That was like that was very, very insightful. So I would now give the floor to Barrister Funke Akoni, for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Wumi. Thank you for your time and the very explosive talk that you have given us today. We thank you very much on behalf of my GP gang. And full name is Gracious Spells Family, but we call ourselves GP gang. We're a gang of retired and old and middle age people. We thank you for coming. We thank you for Dr. Ike's we thank Dr. Ike for his inputment. We thank Princess Adetutu for moderating the thing for us. Thank you very much. And I thank everybody that has given us their time. We say thank you again and have a nice weekend. Thank you.